to Radio Free Brooklyn. My name is Francesca, and I am honored. I am joined here on the phone with the one and only Señor Gigio. Welcome back to the show. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be back. It's a lot of fun.
It's always good to talk with you. You have a lot going on, always, always. So just for the folks who have sort of missed you on the show before, you're an amazing artist visually, musician musically, hip hop. You're a tarot card reader. You're an amazing dad. You have a long list of really cool things that you do. How do you describe yourself?
I guess I'll just, I'll guess I'd say I'm a multi-dimensional being, and the way that shows up here is me being a multi-dimensional artist. And I like to say that it all starts with the music first, but all these other things that I'm able to bring through, it helps get the vision across. And I'm just a multifaceted artist, but yeah, it definitely starts with hip hop. It's an interesting thing to continue to even discover that for myself. Like, how do I describe myself? But
yeah. Well, it's so interconnected, and the world sort of wants you to be in boxes, and it's hard. It's how do you separate those things? I mean, you have hip hop in your visual art. I see it. I feel it.
Right. I mean, I've struggled with it at times, and there have been times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop doing one thing, but the world calls me back to the other thing. Where I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah.
So it's all very intuitive, and it's just peeling back the layers, and then we just do it collectively.
I love it. Well, and it's a drive, it's like a passion that comes from within. It's sort of those external forces that tell you how to label it, how to put it in boxes, how, you should be one thing.
Well, I had this last Saturday here in Richmond, it was, June 17th. I got to perform and show my art at a hip hop art show, which was like a first for me.
Nice.
And for one of the first times, I felt like I was able to convey that, hey, here I am. I'm a multi-faceted artist within a night.
Nice. Yeah.
And it was cool. It was a good experience.
That's amazing. Oh, I wish I'd been there, because it's immersive. I mean, you're looking at visuals, you're hearing, you're in the moment. It's like, what is it to be present? You're creating experiences for people. I love it.
Right.
Yes. And you're a great collaborator. So tell me about this latest project. Who is Versol? Is that how you say her name?
Versol. Yep.
Versol. Okay.
Versol. She's amazing. She's also another multifaceted artist, but rapper, producer, composer. She's based in San Francisco. That's where she was born and raised. And I've had a good relationship with her for like the last 10 years, and she's always been someone who I've been a great fan and admirer of her. She's just really powerful, raw, dynamic performer, just someone who just infuses like a lot of really powerful emotion into her performance. And
I love it.
Yeah, she's amazing. And this year we clicked up and we formed a duo, and the name of our duo is called Mixed Up, which is we spell it stylistically though, like, so there's like a stylistic kind of twist to it where it's
I saw that. I was like, how am I supposed to read this on the radio? But then I saw you give phonetics, so I appreciate that.
Yep.
What was it that this year, after knowing each other for 10 years, you decided that you would collaborate?
I think that it's just been a matter of like just so many key moments where we've worked with each other in the past. We've done shows with each other. We've worked with each other on songs and video projects as well, and done shows with each other. And I think it's just like the nature of the times and where we're at right now, and just kind of like collaboration is such a key part in, music. And sometimes all the collaborations don't always work out. And, I think that we both kind of, just realized, like, wait a minute, like, we're kind of like on the same trajectory here. We have the same vision. And, there's just a lot of love between us. It's just like, she really feels like my blood sister, it's pretty tight. Yeah. So it's family, and it's a shared vision. Yep.
That sort of connection always comes through in the music also. Like you can hear when people are authentically having a good time, enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, definitely.
So what was the process like? I mean, did you both come with your own rhymes, your own beats? Did beats come first? What did that look like?
Well, she's the composer and the producer, and every time we show up to the studio with no plans, and it always ends up just like it's always like nobody knows what's about to happen. It's super spontaneous, and then all of a sudden, like it could be in the middle of a conversation where she's like, "Wait a minute, I got something," and then she goes straight to to her beat machine and starts laying it out, and then we just flow with it, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Have you gotten stuck creatively, and how did you both overcome that? What does that collaborative piece look like?
No, we haven't really I don't think we've gotten stuck creatively, so much. I think, the creativity is super strong. I think it's just, maybe more like on the other side of things of like, okay, like being able to, make a business out of it, and just the nature of being artists and, trying to pay rent in the Bay. Like that's the kind of stuff that makes it a challenge, but, it's also an interesting challenge. And that's also what makes, kind of like, it's the same thing that keeps us passionate too,
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got to stay focused. Yeah. If you're paying rent in the Bay, off art, I commend you.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's a tough business. And you're an artist. It like shouldn't have to be a business for you. We need you creating art. Somebody else should be making the business piece of it, promoting, marketing, that sort of thing. Yeah. It's not fair. It's not fair that freelance artists have to sort of do everything. It's too much.
Yeah. That's the nature of it. And, but it's an interesting challenge, and I think at the end of the day, it builds character. And now we get to do this as a team. She's super independent like me. I've been super independent. I haven't had so much of this kind of stuff that I've dealt with throughout the years. Have always just been me, just dealing with it myself and, my family. But now it's like, okay, now I got a partner to like address these things with, which is pretty interesting.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, I imagine you help each other just sort of navigate the rough waters that is, and to maintain joy. I think that's the real challenge, as you're sort of navigating the rough waters of the music industry, the art world, to maintain joy and creative spirit and creative freedom. Yeah. Which you do, which I hear, which I love.
Yeah.
So let's hear some music. So this is from the group MXX'D. It's called Workflow. What should we know about this one before we hear it?
Well, this is our debut single. We released this about 2 months ago. It's still circulating, and we want to keep it circulating. This is one of our first songs that we made with each other, and it's kind of like there's a lot of cool vibes in it. There's some old school vibes in it. There's some Bay Area vibes in it, and there's some really cool eclectic kind of poppy vibes to it. But it's really like our motto, it's like we do this, and just living by the code of like we really do this, and it's 24/7, and we love it, and that's what it's about.
I love it. Yes. No, it's so good. I mean, you feel it. Yes, you do it. So good. All right. So let me put you on hold. We'll hear some music and we'll come right back. So here is Señor Gigio along with Versol. Their group is Mixed Up. Here is their track Workflow right here. Love Me or Leave Me. Radio Free Brooklyn.
I do this every week. I do this in my...
All right, that was Workflow. That was from the group Mixed Up. We are live on the phone with Señor Gigio. Amazing. Workflow, work ethic. You know, you feel that. You guys are grinding.
Yep, that's what it's about. You know, it's about loving it, and you know, it's to stay motivated and to enjoy the process and to make it your own. You know, it doesn't have to be anybody else's.
Yeah. I always think, you know, artists have the hardest job. I mean, the expectation of an artist is that you're turning your heart and soul sort of inside out, upside down, putting it onto music, putting it onto a canvas, and so that people can come by and sort of judge, you know? I mean, it's a really tough job, I think, to be an artist.
Well, I mean, I feel like people don't mention that enough. And, you know, so I appreciate you like empathizing, you know, with me on that and with all, you know, artists. I know it's because you're an artist too. But yeah, it is like that. And, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And, it's an interesting space to be in, you know, like to be in this like industry, which is very competitive, and there's all kinds of people who are in it for all kinds of reasons. And then, you know, you have like, we're like the Jedi. We have to like sift through it all.
It's really true. Yeah. And stay open. I mean, so many things happen that it's like easier to just sort of shut down. But the world needs you to be open and needs you to share this beautiful gift you've been given. I mean, it's really quite a conundrum.
Yeah. And I think it's a heart journey at the end of the day. And it's important to, you know, I mean, that's a part of the heart growth too, is to be able to get heartbroken and still come back to it, right? Because you love it. You love what it means to you. And, you know, I think the more you commit into it becomes too.
Oh, how beautiful. Yeah. No, it's so true. It's so true. And the more sort of raw and authentic it becomes too, and unique. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, the hardest challenge to be an artist, you know, to live life to its fullest and remain open. And I commend you. What is your self-care? What do you do to take care of yourself and that you can be in a position to sort of give back to so many?
Thank you. Well, that's a good question. I mean, I really, you know, I'm a spiritual person. I meditate, you know, I try to live a balanced life, you know. It's nothing extreme, you know. I don't subscribe to anything too extreme to take care of myself. Just simple stuff: drink lots of water, get fresh air, make sure I go outside every day, and you know, spend a little bit of time in nature. You know, just a little bit. Even going to the park makes a big difference, and having my son and my wife in my life, it definitely it really keeps me grounded, you know, where I can't afford to not take care of myself, you know, and to not love myself, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. No, it's so important. What is the worst advice you've ever been given as an artist?
Oh man, like I've got so many pieces, but one that I get a lot, me personally, is like, hey, you put out too much music, or hey, you put out too much, you know. And
that's a funny thing. What is the advice in that? Like, what are they trying to get at? Why is that a problem that you are creative?
Well, I guess people like to think, I think there's two different parts to it. I think that like some people are like, you know, they're perfectionists to a fault, where it's like, well, you're going to be a perfectionist and that one thing is never going to get completed.
Right. It's paralyzing. Right.
Yeah. And then the other part of it is, I think that, you know, people try to like master plan like the perfect rollout for a release. And, which, you know, there's some sense to that. You know, I think that's fine. But, I think at the end of the day, it's just really about, you know, keeping the energy flowing and trying to be as true to the moment as we can be. And I put myself in a position too, where like, you know, the stuff I do put out like regularly is quality, you know, it's not janky,
Right.
you know, so
Right.
I can get behind it, you know?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, I almost hear like a tinge of like jealousy in that comment that you put out too much. Like, because
I've
to
heard it
make
from
art
so many different
precious,
people.
yeah, it's weird, stifling advice. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I love that
well, that's
question.
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of hear that. Yeah. Well, yeah, fuck the haters. Keep doing everything you do.
Yup. Thank you.
So, what does the future hold? What is up next?
Well, you know, I'm definitely working on new music. I'm doing a lot of new writing right now, and you know, I'll continue to release solo music, but definitely I plan on going into, you know, a deeper state with Verse Soul and finishing up our album and getting that out to the world, which is called the album is called Ingredients for Life.
Oh, I
So
love that name.
yeah, we're really coming together on that, and that's more like something that we're both intentionally making sure that it's like the right release, and making sure that we have proper funding for it and being able to tour it and do all of that, you know, because yeah, I just feel like there's more of it's a movement, you know, it's about bringing people together, you know, so
Yeah, yeah.
that'll be something that's more, I guess you could say more cooked, I guess.
I love that. And how do people find you? How do they support you? Plug everything.
Yep. So Señor Gigio, Seny. So that's the N with the sazon line over it. ORGIGIO, and I'm on Instagram at Señor Gigio, on Twitter at Señor Gigio, and you could also check out my website, senorgigio.guru. And if you want to follow Mixed Up on Instagram, that's at MXXDUP, and you can stay in tune with us there.
Yay. And you're always releasing new music. I mean, it's really great to follow you. It's exciting.
Thank you.
You have a lot of creative energy and a lot coming out. It's exciting. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And how does tarot card reading fold into all of this as well?
Well, it's really interesting. I mean, you know, I like to see myself as a spiritual man, and you know, I really believe that what I'm doing is my calling. You know, I believe that my music and me being an artist and doing all these things, it's my calling. You know, these are like the corny little things that I have to tell myself every day.
I
and
agree. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and tarot, it's something that came into my life, and I love to do it. It's actually kind of interesting because this year I started reading in 2017. And I mean, I've read for over like 1,000 people. And at the beginning of this year, I was kind of like, I don't know, I was feeling a little pigeonholed by it, you know, almost like the way this is kind of goes back to earlier what we were talking about. And I didn't want it to, in my mind, I was thinking like, is this overshadowing my work as an artist? And I actually kind of like took a break from it at the beginning of the year, but just last month I opened it back up, and I'm having fun with it, and it's a great way to connect with people, and you know, it's beautiful work.
I love it. Yeah. And it all makes sense together. You know, it's an interesting, before I met you, I looked at your website and I was like, this is so interesting. What three, you know, not that they're in competition, but I couldn't figure out how they related to each other. And after meeting you for 1 second, I was like, oh, of course, this all makes sense.
Well, you're like one of my tribe, members. That's why it's like, oh, it's like
It's true, I get it. Yeah,
you get it.
I got it immediately the second we met.
That's freaking cool. Yep.
I love it. Well, when are you're on tour sometimes? Are you on any tours soon? Can people see you live? Where can people get their tarot read?
Well, okay, so with tarot, people can reach out to me through, my social media, or you can book through my website as well on senorgigio.guru. And, so that can be something that we do remotely over the phone or FaceTime or Zoom. And, as far as, shows right now, we'll see what's happening. I mean, I that was another thing, like this year, like the last, 2020, one and 2022, I did a lot of shows. I was doing a lot more traveling, and I kind of like took a break at the beginning of this year. And I mean, this last show I just did in Richmond last weekend was my second show of the year. I hadn't done a show since January, and that was intentionally. I kind of was taking a break, not really taking any offers, and just doing a lot more introspective work. And so now that I'm opening that up too, to see, start doing more shows. I believe that I'm going to have that me and Versol are going to be having our like first mixed up performance together officially July 7th in Oakland. So there'll be more information around that. And, exciting. So I'm opening it up, and, I'm definitely I'm coming out of the shell.
Yay.
Coming out of my shell now. So there'll be more announcements in the future. That'll be more stuff rolling out.
How exciting. Yay. Always keep us posted. I have airwaves for you any day, anytime. I'm always happy to support your good work. So
thank you so much, Francesca. It means a lot to me. Thank
you. So what should we go out with tonight? This is a new one, you said. This was just released today.
Yeah. So I released a new EP today called The Soul Crusher. It's 3 sad songs, music made for medicinal purposes. And yeah, it's all for medicinal purposes. And I'd like to go out with my song The Wait.
The Wait. Okay. And what should we know about this? What was the process?
This started out, this whole project, it started out with some instrumentals that a friend of mine here in Oakland gave, he blessed me with. His name is DJ Gabi. And, it just was an opportunity to do different kind of songwriting, and something that allowed me to explore singing more, which I love to do, and just kind of write. I like the art of sad songs, so I was drawn to doing that. And The Wait, a lot of people are digging it. I put out a music video for it 2 weeks ago. It's deep. It's a song about compassion. It's a song about just being strong for someone who's, going through it and not able to be with you in that current time. And it's just about, holding that space and holding that love for that person or whoever it is,
I love it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We will do this again soon.
Right on, Francesca. I appreciate you.
All right. So much love for Señor Gigio. Here he is from the album Soul Crusher. Here is The Wait right here. Love Me or Leave Me. Radio Free Brooklyn.
I know